Okay. Yeah. They were chanting in different languages and different songs, but in the name of God. And these people, they were given us by God, you see? They used the name of God to kill the people of God. And they were singing in different languages. They were singing in Kirundi, Kinyarwanda, Swahili, Fulero, Lingala. They were mixed, they were coalition with a mixed group, a coalition of different people, but all singing in the name of God. You see? Surprising, we're killing people by saying God is allowed us to kill you. Yeah.
Part of the problem is that the history of the Banyamulenge has been contested in a very political way. So during the latter part of the 20th century, there was a lot of propaganda suggesting that the Banyamulenge weren't really Congolese because they were a small minority within Congo, because they spoke a language that was different from other groups in Congo, even though in Congo there were many different languages. So what we've seen is, as is the case in many other situations around the world, where people are labelled as foreign, different, not really loyal to the country that they're living in. When these labels have been put onto the group by, again, very much often political actors, it opens the door for demonization. It opens the door for people being treated as some kind of threat, some kind of alien group, and then you get into the language of genocide. And that's really the context in which we need to understand the Gatumba attack of August 2004.
I was born in the Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, and I am a survivor of Gatumba massacre. When it happened, I was an 11-year-old. We were just in the camp in Burundi. It was in the nighttime around 10 p.m. That's when we had gunshots. But it was kind of common because we were used to hear gunshots, but we had been told that if you hear gunshots, don't move, just sleep. Instead, because there's people who used to come to steal cows, that they were the one who were just shooting. So when the gunshots started, we thought it was the normal thing, the normal routine. So we kept sleeping, but it wasn't the case, because there were lots of people who were shouting and screaming, and we thought, oh, there might be something serious. So that's when we jumped, went out, but we saw the tents were burning. So that's when we were just in the horror. Everybody was running their way. You didn't know where you're running to. You leave your parent, your mom, your siblings. They were running just for their life, because we didn't know where we were running to. We ran into the bushes, and I found myself in the bush with other strangers. I've never seen such a thing. I had never came across such a horrifying night, where you see people are being killed, people are being burned, people are being shot, people are being cut by machetes. So it was the longest night of my life that I'll never forget. So we waited and waited and waited in the bushes, but you were just waiting for your time to be killed. So the night went by, and it was in the morning. So when we woke up, we went around. I didn't have anybody around me. My parents were just like, and my siblings were all over. We were just like dispersed. We didn't know where we were. So we came just like to see what happened, and it was horrific. It was a very horrific. Some images that I will never forget. No one in my family, siblings, or parents, we were all lucky enough to escape that night, but close relatives, my uncles, my aunties had died. So yes, And from there then we came from Burundi because we couldn't stay there. We fled to Rwanda, but we didn't want to go to camps anymore. We went to live in an urban area, a city called Kigali. So that's where we lived for 7 years. But in those 7 years, it was a very difficult experience. Remembering what has happened, we were traumatized as an 11-year-old to see such things that we had seen. It was a very, very hard time for us. And then that's when, from there, the UN brought us to the UK, where we live now. So we've lived here in the UK for 5 years, and we managed to carry on with our education. It's been hard for someone like me to come from the refugee camp. I could never imagine to myself being where I am now. We are still remembering. We will never forget. We will remember every time, but up to now we are getting better. We had to start over, but we are getting there.
That there is a hope, and he has a hope in 2 points. The first point is because he's a believer. He's a believer in God, and I believe that God is the creator of everyone and everything in this earth. So he's the one who created us as Banyamulenge. We never chose to be born as Banyamulenge. No one chose to be born as he is right now. So in that sense, I believe the God who chose us to be born as Banyamulenge, he will always protect us. Secondly, it is in terms of organization, different organization, nationally and internationally. For example, UN, for example, African Union, for example, Human Rights Watch, for example, you as activists, like now, this is the voice. So in that sense, there is a hope for me that in the future, it will be better than the past, according to that.
This week on Need to Know, 2 local Congolese women share their experiences as refugees during the Gatumba massacre in the African nation of Burundi. We'll learn about their current efforts in seeking justice and bringing awareness on the 10th anniversary of the rebel attacks. Also on the show, an outdoor public water.
You can kill and kill, but you will never finish the people from one ethnic group. You cannot. You can try, you can do massacre, you can do a genocide, but you cannot finish all the people. This is the will of God. Tulia.